You're listening to The Real Short Box, a comic book podcast made for geeks
Hola.
by geeks.
Boa noite, bom dia, bem-vinda, bem-vinda, and the Real Short Box. Mi nombre, Supreme Leader Kevin.
What? What are you saying?
What am I saying?
Yes.
I am just using different lingua francas for our introduction today.
You have completely alienated our international audience with that.
No, I have not. I'm actually connecting us to our international audience.
Okay,
Dude.
well, if in that case, then
That was,
I got nothing.
What?
that,
See, you can't
that
say
was
anything.
worse than Gringo. Like, that was worse than Gringo Spanish.
No, it's not.
ich habe neun keine Idee.
Es ist
Why don't you
Yes.
use, I thought you spoke
Yes,
more Deutsch.
Ich,
That is Deutsch.
Didn't sound good Deutsch
Es
to
ist
me.
Das-
nicht gut.
das ist nicht so gut.
There we go. That sounds better.
Sehr gut.
That sounds better.
Ja.
That sounds better.
Ja.
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 Vielleicht?
Ja.
Ja.
Vielleicht? Vielleicht?
Ja.
Okay.
Der steht?
So we've got the King's language here going.
No.
Let's move on. What are we talking about here in English?
Apparently, the gentlemen have decided to discuss if comic book movies and TV shows are oversaturated or will become oversaturated in the next few years as we're now entering a new decade of the 2020s. Have we hit critical mass? Will there start being a decline in box office, in television ratings, in just people caring about these comic book movies and TV shows? So that's what we're going to discuss here. I'm going to referee this because these two are going to go at it. One believes it's going to keep going on for the next 10 years or so. The other one believes that we're entering dark times.
Now, you're going to put a big question mark at the end of this.
Of course.
Because I want to make
a
sure.
Riddler question mark.
In typical, debate fashion, we will just talk in circles like lawyers here. But we will bring out our points.
You will.
Yes.
You guys are from Ohio. You have some great attorneys from Ohio. And you have a great record-setting quarterback from Ohio.
Yes, one Joseph Burrow.
Yes, 60 touchdowns. Good Lord.
And you know the
It's like
best-
PlayStation, Xbox numbers.
Best thing about him is
He's a good guy.
he transferred from Ohio State. He didn't play for them.
No. He did for a bit, but he just didn't start for them. That's what you mean.
That's what I mean.
Yes. And he's going to be the number one pick, probably.
More than likely. There's no question.
You know what? If we had a chance, our team would kill for him.
I mean, he's something.
Oh, let's go back to talking about golf.
All right.
All right. Let's get to it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up the movies coming out this year in 2020. And you guys tell me which one you think are going to do well and which ones you think are not going to do well. And if this could be the year of critical mass.
Well, I think for starters, we want to take a look at what we have on television, what we have on film coming.
Yeah.
On television alone, we've got Vision, we've got Moon
WandaVision?
Knight, we've got She-Hulk, we've got Captain Falcon and Winter Soldier.
That's right.
We've got we got The Boys coming up again. We've
Umbrella
got
Academy, is that coming back?
Umbrella Academy's coming back. We've got a ton of content. Watchmen, probably season 2 will hit at some point.
Agents
point.
of S.H.I.E.L.D. season 9, probably, right?
I can't even believe that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still on.
It's still on. I can't believe it's still on.
I can't. I predicted after season 1 it was done, and it's made an amazingly resilient job of keeping in on track as far as like making it.
Now, here's a premise that I'd like to put out there, because this premise is going to be where a number of my perspectives come from. I think when people talk about comic book film or television content, it's really easy for people to get pigeonholed into thinking that Marvel is all we're talking about here. Because in many ways, it is the plastic straw that is illegal now in California that is stirring that drink, is Marvel. But you have to remember, like, comic books go way beyond Marvel, folks. And if Marvel can create the content and put it out on TV and on big screens, independent comics can do this. DC can do this. So, like, I think it's important to point that out, because there are some people, especially of the more millennial, who will come up to me and think that Marvel is really the only comic book in town. It's just not true.
It's really not true.
And it's so sad.
The CW alone is completely run by DC Comics. If there wasn't for DC Comics, I don't know that the CW would necessarily exist any longer.
Sure, and
Absolutely.
and Warner Brothers, of course, has been elevated tremendously by DC content.
And they will probably take it to another level.
Now that it's AT&T, sure. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe a cell phone company owns Warner Brothers.
So Ma Bell owns.
Kind of insane.
The
Ma
only
Bell
reason
owns-
I'm not
Well, isn't that funny? Ma Bell owns DC and the Mouse owns Marvel.
Yeah.
But the thing is like what the only reason it doesn't shock me is because low key AT&T is like the largest company in the world
It's one of them. It's
in
one of them.
many respects.
It's one of
Like
them.
the
It's one of
stock market might not agree with me, but AT&T has faced antitrust suits, all sorts of things, and they just always come out bigger than they were. So yeah, that's not a company
They were
going
the
anywhere.
first company to have an iPhone too, were they not?
Yes,
It was on their
originally you had to have an iPhone. If you wanted to get an iPhone, you had to have AT&T.
And there was a
Pay
big
for
thing
it,
of,
subscription plan.
on this past season of Silicon Valley where they were trying to get a deal with AT&T so they could put their free Wi-Fi network or whatever out and give it out to the world. So AT&T's a big player for sure.
Oh my god, yeah.
Let's just hope that they can not interfere enough, but interfere enough that they can put DC back on the mark, where they need to be. Because
Need
we've
to be
seen some
competitive. Need to be
success.
competitive.
And we'll see ultimately with some of the stuff, that's coming
Well-
out. You're getting so many big films now. You're getting the only people that can compete with Marvel at this point in Disney is DC and AT&T/Warner Brothers. They're the only people that can compete with them on that level. Otherwise,
There's one other. There's a third option if they want to really dig deep. Apple. They got money. If they ever want to
But-
buy off one of these studios,
So,
I mean, I'm not even talking about
Oh.
There's apples and oranges, and
Quite
you're
literally.
talking potatoes.
so Donald, I agree with you today. That's the case. But movies like Bloodshot can get a grassroots swell, which eventually could lead up to
Sure, The
competition.
Mask was a cute little film, and it did well, and it made some money.
Yes.
But then they pumped out The Shadow,
Yes.
which was a failure. Then it pumped out Tank Girl, which was a failure.
Yes.
Then it pumped out
this one with Pamela
Ju-
Anderson?
Judge Dredd was a failure.
Barbed Wire,
Barbed Wire.
which was a failure.
Judge Dredd was a failure.
As many of these
Yeah.
independent hits, for one independent hit that we had at least 7 or 8 failures. The Phantom,
Spawn.
failure. Spawn, failure.
But The Crow succeeded.
Everything
First
down the line. Yeah, that's another one where it's a rare success
Very
within
rare.
the independent comic world. I don't think
Wait,
Bloodshot's
don't forget
gonna
Ninja Turtles.
gonna do well. Ninja Turtles is a whole different
It really.
but
I hear you. Yeah, both sides of that.
New Mutants.
Trailer looked pretty cool.
Yeah, the trailer did look cool. The second trailer that they came out with, it looked actually reasonably good. It's smart because it's got a horror element to it, yet a superhero element to it. This could be a sleeper hit for them. It's not a guarantee. It could also fall flat on its face.
Plus, it has the power and the backing of Disney marketing.
Right, but it could also be a hit. So I'm on the fence on this one. But I will say that Marvel is teetering on oversaturation.
I want to
go
say a
ahead.
word on New Mutants.
Go ahead.
Just my experience working in the movie theater world and dealing with distribution. New Mutants is very toxic to me in many respects
Really?
because they just won't release the darn thing. And
Oh.
that tells me a lot.
So
Just
you're-
a hunch.
So you're concerned about that.
I'm hugely concerned about that. So Donald might be on the fence. I'm teetering more towards this is not going to work.
Really?
My opinion.
Okay.
Here's the
Fair
thing
enough.
with that,
Fair
though.
opinion. Fair opinion.
Here's a counter to your counter. I think the fact
It's like
that
Crossfire.
basically Fox knew that there was going to be some acquisition or there was going to be some interest.
Yep.
They knew that they were
I'm gonna buy you.
entertaining a sale before they even announced
Yes.
the release date on New Mutants. So they pulled that
Mhm.
because they wanted that to be a viable product for Disney. They wanted to entice Disney. They didn't want to release that and say, this is what we did. They already have two iffy kind of. They knew that Dark Phoenix was going to be a long shot. They
Mhm.
really did because they've already done it. But they wanted to kind of hang on to the New Mutants, so they put that on the back burner for that reason. I think that's part of the reason because they knew that would be part of the sales pitch with Disney.
Mhm.
So when Disney acquired it, Disney again they didn't know quite what to do with it because there's this horror element to it, and Disney's all mouse house and smiles.
Right.
And this is technically the final Fox
Right.
X-Men movie.
So they were like, okay, well they have this thing we don't know if it's going to be a good hit or not. And you even said in prior in conversation that Feige actually liked it and said not to do too much to it.
right.
So there's potential there. There absolutely is. And I think this might be more of a sleeper hit than hopefully than we recognize, because I would like it to succeed, because I would like to see them delve more into these minor characters.
I was just about to say that. That'd be
Yeah.
really fun if it succeeds. We'll see more of these.
If,
minor
if we can
characters.
open up this X-Men universe, this whole
Especially that
mutant
new Mutants
universe,
universe.
that's the introduction
awesome.
to it right there.
Absolutely, it'd
well,
be awesome.
Well, they've
All right,
been
your rebuttal.
They've been blessed to have an opportunity to redo their X-Men universe. There's
But you
no
see
question about
disaster.
that. No, just on this specific film, just my hunch says there's toxicity. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
And that's fair.
I've said this on every prospecting episode, literally since I've been on this program. Get on those X-Men titles, because this universe is being rebuilt.
Yep.
Now, I'm of the opinion there's a possibility that X-Men might not be what we think it is from a movie perspective. There's always this possibility. Can't ignore that. But you have to have some faith and give them some trust. And it's exciting. It's like when you're investing in a new company. It's all exciting at first because you don't quite know. But you know what? Hey, maybe it takes off.
Maybe.
But if New Mutants doesn't take off, the X-Men universe in one way or another should.
And it will.
So you were coming next?
Black Widow.
Guaranteed hit. And,
Is that because you're in love with Scarlett Johansson? Is that why you're saying that?
You know, I will admit, like, when she was first introduced to the world, my pants were tight. I will admit that.
She was in that movie. Was it Ghost World? I believe. I think that was one of
Yeah,
her
she was
first
in
movies.
Ghost World, and we're similar to the same age realm where that's okay. But this one, I got a feeling that this is more Winter Soldier than anything else. I think this is
It
the
does have a
predecessor.
vibe. It does have
Yeah.
a vibe.
This is the predecessor to Winter Soldier. I think we're going to get some good shit here. I think it's her time. I think Marvel knew.
And the Taskmaster.
Marvel knew that they owed Scarlet. Marvel knew that they owed the audience members, that they have to
This-
come out with a good female, powerful
This
film.
should have came out
female
before
strong.
Captain Marvel, though.
Absolutely.
This should've
Like,
came out-
Captain Marvel should not fucking exist. And you know my thoughts on that as far as like that movie.
Oh, Brie Larson was slapped you in the face. For
Okay,
saying that.
I'll slap her back.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's. I think to really make this conversation more complex for our audience. Obviously, a movie like Black Widow, I don't think any of us are going to disagree about the box office return. I think we're all pretty clear that money will be made on this.
Mhm.
Just look. If you just know your basic distribution, May 1st, they don't put movies there to fail. I
Nope.
promise you. But my whole thing is, what is the quality of the movie? That's how I'm going to probably try to answer these questions. Not the success of them. Obviously, I think it's fair to ask that about Bloodshot because it's a smaller character. But I'm just saying, like, the quality of this movie. And so far, like, the trailer looks fine, but I still need to see more for quality for my purposes.
What kind of quality are you looking for, sir?
It's something I enjoy.
That's easy enough.
It's not that hard.
To put it into a quick perspective,
It's directed by a woman named Kate
Bloodshot,
Shortland.
the first appearance of Bloodshot,
Yeah.
still goes for around $30 to $50.
Sure.
The first appearance of the villain, one of the villains in the Black Widow
Mhm.
film, the Taskmaster, first appearance of him is a $700 to $1,000 book
Sure.
almost at this point. It's
Sure.
insane.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And yes, it's part of the Marvel hype machine, but also because of the consistency and the quality that they're putting into the films.
Yes.
So people that are investing in these books also know that usually you're going to get a decent movie out of it. So I think we will.
No, and for sure. And I think it's also, it's good to play to our audience that we're looking at the quality here. Because obviously Avengers Endgame took in $2.7 billion or something crazy like that.
Almost three,
But
just
I-
under three. Yeah.
But I had issues with the art of it because I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. You know, and I just think
Mhm.
these are the kinds of things in Black Widow. So far, so good on it, but I'm not in love with Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow. I don't dislike it, but I'm just not in love with it. That's all. But we shall see.
She was great in Winter
Would you
Soldier.
tell that to her
she,
face?
Fantastic.
but I will tell you this: she can win me over at any point. I don't want to not be in love with her, but I'm just saying
Would
maybe
you
this
tell this to her
maybe
face,
this
sir?
one-off movie. I've told Scarlett Johansson some pretty firm stuff to her face.
Okay.
You know this because I
Okay.
told you I did this.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with that. I just on her solo movie here, this might actually be the moment that I can turn for her.
Remember when we used to all work at, actually all three of us, we used to work at the ArcLight Cinemas in Hollywood. And remember when Chris, our friend Chris, he gave her his phone number. And he's
Oh
like,
yeah, that
he was like,
funny.
if there's ever a chance. And he gave her his phone number,
Wow.
and she took it. She was so nice to take it.
You know,
And then
she-
he just walked around. I don't even think he walked. He floated around the rest of the night.
he's
Just
levitating.
hovered.
He was
Yeah,
levitating.
levitated around in love, talking about how Scarlett took
Did
his
she
phone
ever call
number.
him? Probably not.
No, she never called him. But,
It made his day.
yeah, it made his day. Chris,
Before-
at that point, he was the Kevin James of ArcLight.
That's
you
true.
know?
That's true.
He's a comedian.
And Kevin James, likable dude.
Yeah, likable guy. So, of course, she's going to take his number. What's the next one?
Wonder Woman 1984.
That looks good. That looks tight. That's going to do very well.
You know, we got Oberyn Martell playing one of your favorite villains, someone that interesting enough that Mr. Darren played in a special short
Oh, yeah.
called
The Blue Beetle Ted Cord
Ted Cord
Returns.
Returns. You know, we'd have a shameless plug in for one of our.
Yeah, I created a series. I don't know if you guys know, called The Blue Beetle Ted Cord Returns.
TikTok.
And Darren played one of the villains. He played Maxwell Lord. And you
Maxwell
actually
Lord.
played one of the heroes, Black Licorice.
Yes,
as well.
indeed.
So you guys, if you want to see us walking around in spandex acting a fool, definitely check it out.
They were in Spandex.
Lots of fun.
But here's the thing too. Okay, once again, I'm premise out there. Of course, Wonder Woman will make money.
Mm-hmm.
My big thing is all you have to do, and I really liked the first Wonder Woman movie, and rewatching it, I still enjoyed it. But all you have to do, Wonder Woman, is fix the one problem I had with you, and I'll be in love with you. And of course, that would be the massive fight at the end of the movie.
Yep,
That to
the
me was
oversaturation.
that was
CGI villain.
inconsequential too, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. We thought we were getting the main villain with Danny Houston,
Yes.
and we did not. And then we got this CGI bullshit, which was like Doomsday
And that's
again.
and
all
that was
over.
DC's biggest problem with a lot of their movies. These CGI villains.
I don't know who was in charge at this point, but I'd love to just fucking go in there and slap the shit out of him. Just backhand him like a little bitch.
Now, honestly, like I mean, Gal Gadot. Now that is an actress I really like for that character. No question about that.
Also in a Fast and the Furious film.
of course,
with
That's where she
Vin
started.
Diesel.
That's where she started.
you know. So I mean, obviously, I think all of us will be excited in the sense that we will be seeing this movie almost as it comes out. You know,
Immediately.
But
Yeah.
at the same time, I mean, you know, DC. There's so many properties I would like them to have a movie come out for faster. But hey,
Yeah.
I'll take what they give me.
DC's something else. I'm going to tell you right now. DC has some of the best B and C level heroes and villains you've ever seen.
Unfortunately,
They're just
you don't
so
know about
ripe
them.
with them.
Unfortunately, you just don't know about them.
Yeah.
It's not yet.
Not yet. And I hope that DC can course correct and really crank that stuff out, because if they can do it, we'll have a revitalization of comic book movies.
And that's where the extension of the 2020s, where you could have a fresh new characters
Absolutely.
with those B and C DC characters.
Yeah.
Especially if they were to follow my idea or our idea we talked about for years, Amazon Prime. You were to give some of these B and C characters a chance.
Yeah.
But also too, to answer your question you originally asked in this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's an oversaturation of comic movies. I think there's an oversaturation of a certain type.
Ah,
I believe
okay.
because I feel the fatigue from people that I talk to about the MCU. And
Mhm.
obviously Endgame was your magnum opus. For me, a disappointing magnum opus. But
Mhm.
DC, remember, they don't live in the same world as Marvel.
No, they don't.
So you absolutely could freshen it up. Now, I'm kind of going to agree with Donald. I think going with the independent comic books being the difference, that's always an iffy proposition. In fact, having so many indie comic book films in the 90s was shocking to me personally. Because I'm like, where are they grabbing these titles from? It was really kind of bizarre. But
There's some cool ones in the 2000s.
I'm not saying they don't exist. Of course they
History
do.
of Violence with Viggo Mortensen.
Oh, see, I quite like that film.
Yeah.
Joey, you done a bad thing, Joey. No, my whole thing is that so DC, of course, this is their opportunity to seize on it. Now, I'm sure Donald and you, Kevin, will absolutely agree with me on this. DC won't necessarily succeed at it, but the opportunity's there. The road is paved.
Time will tell.
The road is paved.
Time will tell.
Just walk the road.
Time will tell. Morbius.
I'll
Tom
go
Brady's
see
too.
it. I'm very excited for my Spider-Man 101 and what it will bring me when I eventually sell it and have enough money. Then I can
Finance that
purchase
trip.
your entire life.
I doubt
but
that.
I'm going to become you.
Yeah, I don't know
doubt
if I'm
that.
excited about the movie because
Doubt that.
I don't know if I'm excited about the movie because Morbius is such a weird character to me.
But it's being played by Jared Leto. Jared Leto is a fine actor.
But look, I
He
got no
actually
problem with
is.
him.
A lot of people gave him shit for the Joker, and I get that to a point. I don't think a lot of that was his decision.
No.
And I thought he did all right. It didn't upset me that he was acted the way he did. I think that Dallas Buyers Club, I
Yeah.
believe, he was phenomenal. He
And
was
this
fantastic.
year's 20th anniversary of a great movie, although you can only watch it once every 10 years, that he was in, Requiem of a Dream.
Never seen
Darren
it.
Aronofsky's.
Yeah, Darren Aronofsky.
But
second
also,
film.
I'm and I'm going to use like an analogy here, just a film
What's that?
analogy that we all think of
What's
because
that?
we're talking
Hmm.
about comic books. It's like with Jared Leto, I put him in a similar category as Joel Schumacher. And what I mean by this is
Whoa.
no,
Oh my
no. Let
God.
me tell you what I mean by this.
You mean like the early work of Joel
If you're-
Schumacher?
if
Joel
you're-
Schumacher?
If you're just gonna react like this and not let me talk, so my thing is like obviously Joel received a lot of hell for Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, just like
8mm.
Jared Leto received a lot of hell for the Joker. But how short are your memories? Do you know what I mean? Joel Schumacher before those movies had great stuff. He had
Flatliners.
Falling Down. He had Flatliners. He had The Lost Boys. He had
Mhm.
DC Cab, which I
St.
kind of
Elmo's
like.
Fire, I believe, too.
Okay,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
my point is Jared Leto. We forget he was in Lord of War. He was in Alexander. And Alexander is not a great film, but he was fine in it. And then other movies like Requiem for a Dream and things.
You know,
like that.
I have that line I can't get out of my head now as you bring it up that he says, Alexander, be reasonable.
Yeah, I think Morbius is a safe film for him acting wise. I don't think there's anything going to come out of left field. He's not going to go, I'm Morbius, guys. Let's make balloon animals. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? He's going to be broody. He's going to be a fucking living
He
vampire.
will use method acting.
But
He's going to be fine.
He's going to go method.
His career is
But
fine.
Donald, the real question is, will the soundtrack have 30 Seconds to Mars?
Oh, it better. It goddamn better.
Okay.
If it doesn't, I'm out.
Out.
I'm out.
What about Nine Inch Nails?
No,
Man.
no, they're too busy with the Watchmen series.
Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did a lot of that. I don't know if you know.
No, I didn't know that.
They did a marvelous job.
Well, they did the Black Giandola too.
If anybody, yeah, they
Atticus
did.
Ross
You're,
did, yes.
you're right. Yeah, I don't know if that's available. If you can view that on YouTube or anything. I don't know.
It can be segments,
Yeah.
as far as I know. All right, Kevin.
Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins.
Oh yes, yes. That's exciting because it's got God, this is gonna sound so racist. It's got an all like Asian cast, basically.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, Japan.
Yeah, and Hollywood gets so much shit for whitewashing. You know, they really do. But with this one, I feel like they went out of their way to make sure it's as close to the idea of the story as possible.
Oh, so it's not going to look like one of your all-time favorite comic movies, The Wolverine, that took place in Japan.
That's so low on my list.
Give me a high
Darren, that is so low
Give me
on
a
my
high
list.
five.
That movie is terrible. You know I know that.
five.
Would you tell the James Mangold's face?
I absolutely would.
Bring the heat. Bring the heat.
I would tell it to his face.
You know, he did,
James
he
Mangold,
did
if you
walk
want to
the-
come
he
over,
did walk the line.
if you want to come over, I'll tell you to your face that that movie sucks
I'm
shit.
sorry, I'm collecting residual
he did.
checks from a
He did.
James
He did
Mangold
walk
film.
the line.
Did a lot of stuff. He did 310 to Yuma.
That's right. 310 to Yuma.
310 to Yuma was great.
course.
It was also
Walk the
a
line.
film before it was film. You know,
Certainly.
remaking a film is a lot easier than doing
So,
the original.
so that's interesting. Like, you know, that you would bring that up because the Snake Eye origin. Obviously, you know, you don't want to sleep on comic book movies in October because I did sleep on Joker, and 11 Oscar nominations later, somebody
And it was
seems
funny.
to like it.
I
Snake
still
Eyes,
like to
Snake
sleep
Eyes
on that.
come out the same time Joker came out last year. Interestingly enough,
What's
At the
this,
same time.
October?
In October, yeah.
What is
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah.
Snake Eyes,
Ah,
G.I. Joe
that's why.
origins.
That was my point.
What's next on the list, though? Is there anything else?
Eternals.
Oh God, that's the turd. That's the one that's gonna stink up the
You
bathroom.
think? You think that might be?
I have no opinion. But
Snake
go
Eye.
ahead.
I think that might be Marvel's first big failure.
Eve with Angelina Jolie.
Yes, I've been hearing a lot of just fanboys hating on it and not wanting to even see it.
So you better sell your books now. Then your entire Eternals collection. Then
Absolutely. If you have Eternals books, I would wait till a trailer hits.
Yeah.
And-
That's what I would do.
See, that's what I did with the Suicide Squad movie. And remember, I told you when I saw it, I said, "Oh, it's time to make a change."
Yeah. And that was smart. But,
Mhm.
you know, Suicide Squad, thankfully, it's getting another life.
That's
So
true.
there's going to be some value to that again.
that's
Sure.
true.
Eternals won't have that.
You
They're
don't
not
think
going to
so?
do a second one after the first one
Okay.
fails.
All right.
Like, the first one will make just enough money to survive. And then Marvel will look at it and be like,
Never
let's
mind.
not Inhumans everyone. Let's keep
But-
moving.
But this is an interesting point that I would like to bring up now that you mentioned the Eternals. We have to keep in mind the Eternals, they're not the X-Men, They're not the Fantastic Four. They're not Spider-Man. People have far less patience for B-grade Marvel stuff. Now,
Guardians of the Galaxy worked out.
that's what I was going to get to. Of course, you can have that. There was a streak. Marvel was hitting hot. Even Ant-Man, of course, was hitting hot. But the point I'm getting at here is the deeper you dig, you cannot crank out one hit at a time all the time. And that's why I'm going to come with Donald on this one. I think Eternals will get massively overlooked. And November is a weird release date.
Mhm.
Like, I remember when Thor the Dark World came out in November. That was a weird release date, you know? And
So
here's
did,
a forgettable
Ragnarok.
movie.
Ragnarok did very well, but it was a lighter film.
True.
It seemed fun.
That's true.
Everybody around November, December, they want fun, light films. Nobody wants to watch a motherfucking drama around Thanksgiving and
Well, actually, a
Christmas.
lot
You
of
don't
the
think
Oscar
so?
films come out around that time.
No, nobody wants to watch that shit.
But
People,
a lot of those Oscar movies.
families, I'm talking. Families that are going to go to Marvel
Right,
films.
of course.
They want light stuff. They want, fun stuff. And if the Eternals ends up being too heavy, they're going to fuck themselves right in the ass.
Well, yeah. No,
Wow, that's a brutal way to say it.
also, too, with
They're gonna do
Marvel
it.
films, a lot of Marvel films, you need name recognition. And honestly, I don't think John Q. Public knows who the Eternals are.
That's true. They don't.
And
They
this-
don't. You need star power and you need name recognition for something like this. And they have somewhat star power, but
But
not
not
enough.
enough.
But not enough. And they
Alright.
don't have the name recognition.
All right.
So they're in trouble on this one, and they know it.
all right.
Hey, guys, I'm just a quick interruption here. I just want to mention We Can Be Heroes, the best comic shop in the valley, possibly the world. We Can Be Heroes is in Chatsworth, California. Come on down for 20% off on a pull list. Vintage toys, new toys, collectibles, vintage comics, gaming, and more. Guys, they really got it going over there. It's a great spot just to hang out. It's like the Cheers of comic shops. We Can Be Heroes, Chatsworth, California.
All right, that was great. Do we have anything on that list? We need to name it quickly. I've got things to do.
Okay, I'll go for him quickly. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
That's going to be a hit.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Also a
Even
hit.
though there's been a director change, but regardless.
Kevin's
also a
going to
hit.
love it, I know. I
Yeah,
know that,
right?
Yeah, I know you're on that.
The Batman, paid by your favorite male actor, Robert Pattinson.
It's going to make money. I don't know if it's going to be that huge.
The Riddler's gonna be in it. Hopefully it's done right this time.
Mm-hmm.
The Spider-Man 3, the third, I guess whatever this version of Spider-Man 3 is.
That'll be a hit,
Depends on the
of course.
villain.
The
Depends
Suicide Squad.
Stoked.
Sure.
Totally stoked.
Thor, Love and Thunder. I'm not so sure about that.
Oh, it's got Jane
Jane
taking
Foster.
taking the mantle.
Although
for,
rumor
so we'll
has
see.
it that Beta Ray Bill might be in there, played by one of your favorite actors, Donald Christian Bale, allegedly. We'll
Christian
see.
Bale is going to play Beta Ray Bill.
That's the rumor.
That sounds stupid.
That's
as
the
fuck.
rumor.
Yeah,
It's a rumor. It may not be true.
Now, I don't know
That's
if
the
it's 21 or 2021 or 2022, but I've heard there is a Flash movie coming, which, of course, I'm very
Yeah,
It's
excited.
funny you mentioned 2022.
I'm
Yeah.
very
Here's the
excited
thing.
until I'm not.
I'm
And then-
already kind of. You can almost hear the tiredness in my voice from 2021. Because
Wait. 2021 ends right though for you,
with
and
what?
Jarrett will get
Blue
a-
Beetle Take Court Returns.
No,
Web
Black,
series
Black
turned
Adam.
into a movie.
Black Adam comes out.
I'll see it, but I mean, honestly, like Black Adam is not going to blow me away in movie.
What if
form.
it does?
He's
The Rock's in it.
actually
The Rock's
he's
in it.
actually a
The
very
Rock's in it.
complicated, very cool character.
That's right.
In one that I can totally get behind in movie form. So
I-
I'm
no,
on
no,
board for
and,
that.
And I hope. Look, I hope it does. Look, I don't want to sit here and trash these. I
You are
want
trashing
to. I
them.
want to watch them. I want to watch them and make my judgment. But we're here to give our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Now 2022 has one final one that we'll all be excited for.
What's that?
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse sequel. We'll probably see the Spider-Man
Oh, yeah.
2029.
Yeah.
2099.
I watched that at City Walk, Universal Studios. The first one had a blast watching it. I think me and my friend Elise watched it together. It was a good time.
There you go.
Um,
And Jason Momoa, Aquaman 2.
I am going to say Aquaman 2. That's a good one. I am going to say that Marvel and DC alone won't oversaturate, but they have to keep it consistent. If not, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
And the fact that all these other movies are going to start coming out, all the other television series and things are going to keep going and keep coming out, we're going to hit an oversaturation point. We will. It's
So
inevitable.
kind of like the Western genre back in the day.
Yes, it's inevitable. But here's the thing: as long as we keep making money on this stuff, it's going to continue to keep getting done. So as long as there's some profitability, so you have to have quality. If there's quality behind it, you're going to be okay. The minute they start skimping and the quality goes down and people stop going, of course we're going to have less product. And then eventually that oversaturation will hit that point where, and then comic book movies are gone.
But you've also trained your audience now to watch comic book movies. Like, those are the big events.
Yeah.
So you're, in essence, you're really molding a lot of genres together. And I prefer action films that are not necessarily comic book movies. And you're not getting that because your action movie is now your comic book movie.
Right.
Your science fiction movie is becoming your comic book movie.
Yep.
So at some point,
all the science fiction films are relegated to January and February and things like that.
Yeah.
And Star Trek has a hard time succeeding because of this kind of thing.
And
it's a very interesting time that we're living in.
And very few films anymore are true science fiction. You're talking about something that just takes place in the future and they call it science fiction, but it's a big action movie.
Yep.
I don't want that. You know, I mean, this is where the oversaturation. I've felt the oversaturation. I'm done with it, even though I'm watching everything because that's what we do here.
Right.
But I'm getting over it quickly.
Right. I'll tell you what. There's one thing that I feel that we will never have oversaturation on, and that is a lot of things comic book related, but a lot of things when it comes to comedy. I think comedy is the gap that bridges everything.
Mhm.
I will say that, speaking of comedy, I find us to be hilarious, and I hope you all find us to be hilarious too. And if not, that's okay too. But we definitely want you to reach out to us. We want you to reach out to us through Kevin.
Instagram, Facebook. You can listen to all of our previous podcasts on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Spreaker, Google Play Music, and of course directly through our website, rumblespoon.com.
Yes, so please do that. And if there is any type of oversaturation, maybe we can talk about it when we see you
at the lovely, righteous, homely, special comic book shop.
This has been The Real Short Box. We'll see you at the comic shop. Thanks for listening.